Hey crew, I've got the key to that 24 Ford F-150 Tremor. Today we're going to see what it's like to live with, starting with remote start. Good morning, neighbors. Maybe if this Tremor had the 5-liter V8 that is standard with this truck, it would have caused more of a ruckus on startup. But with the 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6, no one is going to be startled in the morning. Let's talk about the spacing in my driveway before we hop in. So I've got the Tremor parked right there at the edge of my driveway, sitting next to a new Chevy Equinox that my wife is reviewing. If you want to check out her content, it's at Mobile Mama on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Look at that. Well, for one, we've got one of my daughter's sticker books just hanging out here, but the edge of the Equinox tire is hanging out a few inches over the side of my driveway. So if you park like this, then you're going to have plenty of room. But in fact, there's so much space here that even if that was kind of in the driveway borderline, I'd still have plenty of room to walk between the vehicles. And the nose of the Tremor is hovering just slightly over the curbing there. And that is necessary to give me room at the back of the truck between that and the garage door. No luck of making it past the hedge to my front door though. When first hopping inside the truck with the key fob in my pocket, I can just put my hand on that handle that will unlock all 4 doors, and opening up that door, I can show you the defined notches. That's 1 and 2. I don't think I can, no, I can't swing it all the way out before I touch the Equinox, but 2 defined notches is plenty of room to get inside. And with that metal side step and the grab handle, my entry is a cinch. Closing up that door. Hello cabin crew, thanks for joining for this day in the life in the F-150 Tremor. Now because I've done a day in the life in the F-150 Raptor, I want to see if a narrower bodied F-150 is all that much easier to live with. Before I head out, let me show you where I would stash the items I bring with me. My smartphone would go on the wireless charging pad. The key fob can just go in the cup holder. I've got a pen in the pen slot up above my head. I've got my sunglasses in that little storage bin, and it is padded, so I'm not going to scratch the lenses. Inside the console is a massive cubby, and in here I just have my Racebox 0 to 60 timer and my GoPro accessories. And then adding that back in on the door, I've got my wallet inside that tray, and in the lower cubby I've got my large water bottle fitting very neatly. I'd also have another storage cubby here, and the passenger would have another one above the actual glove box. So storage inside the F-150 Tremor is terrific. After throwing on my seatbelts, I am going to need to do the full startup because remote start is actually just timed out. So foot on the brake, hit the start stop button, and we are live. Now pull back the gear selector into drive, release the parking brake, and I can roll forward here, not worrying at all about the gutter in front of my driveway in terms of clearance. However, I might need to worry about the turning radius with it being trash day. Am I going to clear? Parking sensors are not overly aggravated. I make the turn. Good start. So even from the very beginning, this Tremor is easier to park than the wider F-150 Raptor, and I don't think with its bigger tires and widened body that the Raptor would have cleared those trash cans as I got out of my driveway. Then out here on the road, it's way easier to keep this narrower Tremor within the lane markings without constantly activating the lane departure warning or having the steering wheel try to correct you back into the lane. It just makes this much less of a tedious daily driver. The power with the 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 isn't all that far off the standard Raptor as well. You've got 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, and with this 10-speed automatic gearbox, which is the same transmission in the standard Raptor, it's just very easy to get up to speed quickly. You're never really wanting for low-end grunt. And though the 10-speed can sometimes get caught off guard if you're quick off the throttle and then back on, like for example if a light is red and then it goes green after you've already started slowing, for the most part it's a very smooth gearbox and you don't notice those changes. The brakes have actually a really nice initial bite and good feel, so you can smoothly come to a stop. If I was to sit here for a second, the start-stop system would engage, and you never really hear that V6 come back on. You just feel a very, very light rumble come back through the cabin, and you're off to the races again. And on the subject of speed, how quickly can the Tremor rip it to 60 in a real-world test? I've got my Racebox set up here to record and find out, and I do need to move into the Sport Drive mode. That moves us into the 4-wheel drive mode, and when the light goes green, I'll give it a bit of a brake boost and fire out of the hole. Here we go. Boosting, letting it go. Whoa! Shoot, there's 60 in 5.83 seconds. Now I know why it's called the Tremor. Should inspire some fear in others. Though not quite as peppy as the Raptor, the Tremor is not far off. Now let's talk about the ride quality. So, while the Raptor does have that Fox remote reservoir suspension system, which yes is tuned to make that truck very poised off-road, it also adds compliance on the road. The Tremor, without that, does give you that traditional solid rear axle hop, that busyness on the road surface, especially when the road isn't perfectly paved as the one we're on right now. But the suspension still dampens me from the worst of the road blemishes. And then when you factor in these seats, which are ergonomically shaped and thickly padded, which also absorb some of the road, and they've got nice adjustability to them. I've got good head clearance for myself at 6 feet. The tilt and telescope of the wheel is just right. So this is just a relaxed, comfortable way to get around town. More daily driving considerations. Turn signal sound. It's a respectful knocking noise. Anyone home? Now, I gave you the teaser of the turning radius, but we're going to do the full test right now. Take the truck out wide here, then crank the wheel. Okay. It's a wide circle, like a full-size pickup truck is expected to be. But I'll tell you one thing, it's not just better than a Raptor's turning circle, that's significantly better than the Toyota Tundras. Now let's say someone cuts me off in the Tremor. What will be this truck's horn sound response? Oh. It's so polite. It's too polite. But I guess if I really needed to get someone's attention, I could just go annoy my wife. Let's do that now. Hi, honey. Hi. Let me pinch the cheeks. Let me see you. It's good to see you. Hi.
Why?
Hi, how are you?
Treating me like a baby. What's going on?
I'm trying to annoy you. Is it working?
Not really.
Oh.
Surprisingly.
Darn. Usually I'm very good at that. You tell me all the time. What are we doing?
Getting coffee.
Oh. I thought we were getting tapioca pudding.
Oh, gosh.
You love tapioca pudding.
I've never liked tapioca. I've never liked any kind of pudding.
Yeah, well.
Ever.
Still trying to annoy you. I think it's starting to work. Let's talk.
Yeah.
What price point would you put on this cabin?
Somewhere in the 60s. Oh, no.
It's going to hurt then.
Just the cabin. I know the whole package is going to be more expensive.
Yeah, okay. I kind of agree with you. The interior look and feel and the plastics and stuff.
The seats are nice.
The seats are nice.
They feel like
heated and ventilated leather.
More expensive vehicle.
Yeah, and they are more expensive because we got the big option group in this one. The 42A equipment group, it's like an $11,000 package.
Wow.
But it comes with a lot of stuff. But yeah, that makes the cabin nicer, but still I agree, some things look to be mid to high 60s. Yeah, but the overall package, trucks are expensive, full-size trucks especially are expensive. You got a lot of power, you got a lot of torque, you got a lot of utility. So that's why it's expensive. But I agree with you. The cabin is not like, whoa, that's a $100,000 interior.
Not a luxury vehicle, yeah.
No. Although I will say, some full-size, even F-150s, like the Platinum one, with the woods and stuff, that really does feel like a $100,000 truck.
I like pretty much all full-size trucks, seats. They're all very comfortable and roomy.
Yeah, well, you just like roominess in interiors.
I do.
You like that I can touch you if I fully extend my arm. You can just... Yeah, you like that. Now as I take yet another U-turn here,
it's
worth explaining to you.
Oh my gosh.
So this video I'm talking a lot about how this Tremor drives kind of around town in comparison to the Raptor. You've driven the Raptor, well, a Raptor R, and you've driven this. What's kind of the difference for you?
Well, the Raptor R is definitely more of a cool vehicle. It's got that wow factor.
Yes.
But it is more difficult to drive as a daily driver. It's wider. It's going to take up more of the road. It's going to be a bit more difficult getting into parking spots.
All true.
Yeah, all those things. This is definitely like a bit easier to drive.
They're just like more relaxing,
more relaxing.
day in and day out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't feel as awesome.
Yeah, you don't feel as cool.
Yeah. And we've made it to our coffee spot, Raised by Lions. I'm scared. And speaking of easier to maneuver, let's see how it is to park this Tremor. I like the camera system, high resolution, bird's eye view, backup with trajectory lines.
I like how I do all that and it's just very normal for you. Like you just ignore my weird...
Oh, that's just standard. Yeah, perfect for one another. Let's go get coffee. How nice was that experience just
So
there?
nice. And this place is amazing. I have a black sesame latte.
And she gave
I'm gonna
us...
be like influencers.
I don't even know what that means.
This is what they do.
You're
You
doing?
don't watch the women influence. This is what they do. Look. So good. Oh my God. I'm addicted.
Anyway,
Obsessed.
I was happy with that experience, not for what you just did. That was really weird. But because they gave us samples of their flavored cold foam. They have like an ube cold foam, a strawberry one, a pandan.
Ube, it's over.
They were amazing.
It's over for me.
Oh, you know what we can do?
And I love ube.
I just realized.
And we met Jeff inside.
Oh, yes.
Shout out to Jeff.
Shout out to Jeff. Jeff said hi. Jeff is a fan of MilesPerHr and of Mobile Mama stuff. So
and he's around here.
thanks for introducing yourself, Jeff. Yeah, I just want to show this. This is really cool. Now it's a work surface / coffee table
Yeah.
/ you know what I got you?
Me.
I couldn't find tapioca, but I did find
Why?
coconut pudding.
I don't like pudding.
Well, now you're gonna put it in your mouth. Pudding it in your mouth. That's weird.
Oh, that's weird.
It's very strange. Is it good? That's the question.
Oh.
That was an interesting initial spoonful.
Watery, gelatinous. No, I'm good. So I don't like pudding.
Oh, I like it.
Oh, you do?
You should like that.
You looked grossed out.
No, I was just trying to figure out my life.
Fine.
Raised by Lions. That's a win from us.
That's gonna be a no for me.
Much as I love my coffee dates with Mobile Mama, I now need to go pick up my daughter from school for a daddy-daughter date. I do have a few minutes to kill before school lets out, so let's talk through the rear seat accommodations. So right now behind this chair, that's actually further back than my own driver's seat at 6 feet tall, I still have tons of knee room. There are nice big foot pockets to slide my feet under. Thigh support could be better. Headroom's great though, and I love all the light that's coming in through this pano sunroof. These rear seats are heated with that 402A equipment group. There are 2 USB-C ports, and you've got an AC outlet. If I wanted to move into the middle seat, even with my older daughter's car seat set up in that forward-facing position, I still fit, not comfortably, I would say, with another car seat or another adult. Certainly, this would be tight, but you could actually make it work, and that's impressive. That's one of the best features of a full-size pickup truck, just all this extra room. For car seats, there are 2 sets of lower latch anchors, 3 top tethers. To install my daughter's forward-facing car seat, I had an easy time getting it through the nice wide door openings. You do have to go through the 2 loops to actually anchor it down, as opposed to having the seat tilt forward and having a tether point just right there at the back. One extra step, but the adjusting headrest made that whole job pretty seamless. And for my other daughter's rear-facing infant car seat, I would use the latch points, and as you saw with all that space behind the seat, it would not be a problem getting that in at all. Now to go pick up my older daughter and go get a treat. Did you have fun at school?
Yeah.
Yes. Here we go. We're gonna go in the truck. Can you get in?
What?
Truck, not car. You got in like a pro. All right, buckle up and we'll go. Wait, Talia, is that a garbage truck right there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see it.
Let's see it. Ooh, he's gonna lift up that big dumpster right there. You see it?
Yeah.
He lifted it up, and now it's coming back down. You see?
Yeah.
Wow.
He did it with 2 of them.
With 2 of the forks?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was awesome. You know what's more awesome than that?
What?
Acai bowls.
Yeah.
Yes. Should we get one?
Actually was more awesome than garbage trucks.
It's true. You love garbage trucks a lot.
Yes.
Me too. Do you like this truck a lot?
Yes.
Yes.
It's the biggest truck I ever seen.
It's the biggest truck you've ever seen?
Yeah.
Yes. Except for that garbage truck that we just saw that was bigger, huh?
Yes.
That is a fact. As is the fact that acai bowls are delicious, and we're here and we're gonna get one.
The truck is bigger than the garbage truck, and the garbage truck is bigger than this truck.
What? What'd you say?
What's the hottest day, Daddy?
What's the hottest day?
Yeah.
Well, the hottest day so far was about 4 weeks ago,
Oh.
but it's still hot. It's still very hot. So
Oh.
that acai bowl is going to taste even better.
Sure.
So, Talia, should we eat the bowl in the car in the AC? Or should we find some shade and eat it in the bed of the truck?
Find some shade and eat it in the bed of the truck.
Okay, find some shade, eat it in the bed of the truck. Okay, it's almost time to eat it, but you gotta check this out. This is really cool. So, there's a gate and a step. Look.
Oh, yeah.
Woohoo! But you don't wanna eat it under there. You wanna have this up. So let me pull that, and then I gotta do it again. And fold it again.
Yeah.
Yay! All right, climb on up. Do you want me to hold that?
Not very soft.
It's not very soft. I'll put that in my notes. Ford, your spray and bed liner needs to be softer. That bowl looks good. All right, Tali, you do the honors. Yummy, yummy. Today, I'm gonna take this Tremor out for a bit of off-road exercise. And on my way there, we can see what it's like to drive on the highway. Starting with visibility. The view out the front is great with this nice tall windshield. And though the hood is very wide, it's not terribly long, and it's got some grooves in it to give me a sense of where the front of the truck is. The side windows are also super tall, and these front ones have these recessed portions in them that show me the road right next to the truck. Over my shoulder here, the B and C pillars are small blind spots, but there is standard blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic, and the view out the back is okay. It's not a super tall piece of back glass, but I think you can lower those headrests. I just couldn't figure out how to do it exactly, and that would improve that viewpoint. In terms of cabin volume at highway speeds, let me quiet up here for a moment. Even though this is a louder road surface than smooth tarmac, I'm not getting a lot of hum from those 33-inch all-terrain tires, whereas if I was in the Raptor or Raptor R on the 35 or 37-inch tires, I definitely get more hum from that truck. And as I pass by that truck there, and as vehicles are passing by around me, I'm not getting too much road noise. It's a pretty well-insulated cabin here. And if I wanted to activate the driving assistance features, we've got the Blue Cruise system here on the highway. That is a hands-free system when you are on a mapped highway, and that means hands are off. It's going to take the curve of the road just fine. It will also help me change lanes if I indicate, and if there is an opening, it's going to go for it. This system is really handy. If you're going to be commuting a lot on a mapped highway, this is going to reduce the driving fatigue a ton and get you to work not just safely, but more calm and collected. And while I am Blue Cruising here, I might as well get some tunes going. Got the wireless Apple CarPlay system queued up, and I'm going to listen to this Bang & Olufsen sound system that is part of that 402A equipment group. Clear notes, power from the Bang & Olufsen sound system, and a hit of bass that rattled my seat. That is an excellent sound system. I would love to commute in this truck. And I've made it to the, let's call it the miles per hour proving grounds. And this is a good time to move into one of the four-wheel drive settings. I'm actually gonna go to 4 Auto, which is rear-wheel drive, unless the truck detects slip in the tires. Then it will apply power to the front wheels as well. And I'm also gonna turn off the traction control system, just for fun. And now, let's see how the truck does on what is approximately the type of fire road you would encounter if taking the family to a campsite. There was a bigger impact, absorbed very well with the off-road tuned suspension. not as velvety a ride as a Raptor, but it's still really smooth. That washboardy surface, I barely felt at all. I feel very in control of the truck's movements. Not a ton of steering feel, but lots of composure. Truck feels nice and planted here. Lots of low-end torque. Gets you moving. Good bite from the brakes through the all-terrain tires. I can hear Mobile Mama now. Slow down! But she's not in the vehicle, so this is okay. It's more than okay. And with the 402A equipment group, there is a Torsen limited slip differential up front, and we also have a locking differential in the back. Is that a Roadrunner? Cool. I don't want to crush you. Please move. Yes, we're okay. That's not locked right now. But the Torsen LSD really gives you this control of the feet onto the power, lots of front end grip. Now I'm going to change up the drive mode, move into sport, and see how that changes things on that set. Well, for one, the throttle response is markedly more immediate. It's just raring to go. Cut power there, because traction control was switched back on in that shift. Now it's back off. And the Tremor wants to play. You know what it is? So in comparison to the Raptor, with its more planted stance, you did feel a degree of extra stability in that truck, and there also was less shimmy in the chassis brought in through the steering. So I lack the same degree of confidence in driving the Tremor like this than I did with the Raptor. But it's not a night and day difference. This is still fairly close to the pace at which I would peruse this road in the Raptor. This truck can move. Now let's try something different. I pulled off on a trail here, and I want to use the off-road drive mode because when I activate that, it will first lock us into the four-wheel drive mode, not 4Auto, and it's also going to lock up the rear differential, which you can do at any time in four-wheel drive mode just by hitting that button there. Then it will show me the front-facing camera on the infotainment screen. It is in high resolution. I'm also going to fold in the door mirrors because I've got some brush encroaching in on both sides, and head on through. And I'll tell you one thing that's already different than the Raptor. I would be hearing a lot more scraping of that brush with the wider body of that truck. The Tremor is going to get a little bit of pinstriping, but not nearly as much. And as I approach the crest of this hill, let me pause for a moment because as of right now, I can't see it all beyond that hood. I don't know how steep of a descent it is on the other side of it, but I can see here with this front-facing camera angle that it's not anything I need to be worried about. I can also see the trajectory of my tires to make sure that I'm not lined up for disaster. And now can work my way down. Next, we have a section that's a little more technical. I think this calls for 4-drive low. So I'm going to hit that button here, throw it into neutral as the shift is made. Can roll back a little bit. We've made the shift. I'm back into drive. Now I can use the low speed torque of a low range set of gears give me more finely tuned throttle control and help the Tremor easily make its way up this hill. Now with those 33-inch all-terrain tires digging in and with the assurance of metal skid plate protection, I feel good about my clearance. However, those metal side steps do give me somewhat of a pause because I don't want them to get hung up on anything low. Go slow here. Feel myself being pulled left a little bit. No hang-ups so far, that's good. All right, made it without any scraping. That's positive. It's a pretty good reward with that view. That if I wanted to flip around here, it would take me a lot. Multiple steering corrections forward and backward, unless I tried out the trail turn assist feature, which is activated here. Fully cranking the wheel, it's going to brake the inner tire and allow me to turn around in a tighter circle than I otherwise would. So instead of it being maybe a 6-point turn, it's going to be a 2-point turn. This is looking like a pretty steep descent. And if I was lacking in confidence of how smoothly I could make my way down this hill, then I could use some other features in the Tremor, like the one-pedal drive. Now what this does is effectively hold the brake every time that you're not giving throttle. So I just give a little bit of throttle here, and it will let me go down. But the moment I take my foot off the throttle, it's going to clamp me back down. So there's not going to be any undue sliding down the hill because you won't have generated much momentum. The other way you can do it is to set the trail control system to work as down or uphill cruise control off-road. So my foot is not on the brake, it's not on the throttle. I'm just setting the speed here of how quickly I want to go down, and I can focus on the steering. This gives everyone, whether you've got a lot of off-roading experience or not, another tool set to take you further. Man, this truck is impressive off-road. Low and high speed, just for fun or for family adventures. The Tremor can do it all. Make you look like a hero. With the off-road fun now behind me, I should put some fuel back in this 36-gallon tank. And the EPA rates the Tremor at 16 mpg in the city, 21 on the highway, and 18 combined. And if I did see that 18 combined, then I'd have a fuel range of almost 650 miles, though over the last 460-ish miles, I've been averaging 14.3 miles per gallon. And at current fuel prices of $4.59 for 91 octane fuel that the Tremor does require, it's going to cost me about $165 to fill this tank, though there is capless fueling to save me time. Side note, every time I start this truck, the kid in me comes out. He just wants to be a pilot and do launch sequence engaged. And I can think of someone else who will want to play, and the Tremor might be able to help with that. We're gonna find out in 2 steps. Step 1 and step 2. Let's go, Obs. Woo, a sliding entrance. I like it. I really think Obi likes the setup in the Tremor because there's so much room back there that he can stand up, which is what he prefers. Despite it being more secure if he actually laid down, he doesn't like doing that. And he's forced to do that in some trucks, not here in the F-150 Tremor. And I also think he's going to enjoy the extra bit of ventilation from a sliding bit of rear glass, though he does seem fixated on what's going on the side windows. So I'll give him that experience as well. It's a happy pup right there. Look at that face. That's an excited face. He's pumped for, hang in there, the dog park. They see me running, they hating. Well, crew, at the beginning of this video, I pondered whether the F-150 Tremor would be better to live with than a Raptor. And after quality time spent behind the wheel, I can confirm several ways in which this narrower truck is a better fit for more folks. Around town, the smaller dimensions make it less tedious to stay within lane markings, to park it, and to make U-turns. Off-road, it's not as capable or fun, but it is easier to avoid pinstripes, and it's still entertaining. On the highway, the Tremor's smaller all-terrain tires have less of a hum, and the cabin is quieter without the Raptor's droning exhaust. The Tremor is a terrific daily driver. It's great for kids and pets, and it's mega capable off-road. Yeah, the Raptor has more cool factor, but not everyone will be willing to pay for that in cost or convenience. I hope you guys have enjoyed this day in the life, and I will see you again next time.